Good morning. It is time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. I just realized that that image I put up actually had a date on it. I thought it was a general image, so totally disregard the date. It said March 8th. Today is not March 8th. This is April 27th. No
Time
time
flies
skip
when you
happening here.
yeah, time flies when you just are having so much fun.
Oh, and speaking of time, it's Wednesday today, so thank you so much for joining us today on a Wednesday. I know you guys weren't expecting it. As entrepreneurs, something came up yesterday and we just couldn't do the show at the regular time, but here we are on a Wednesday.
I know, and I wanna thank you, Tina, and thank whoever is hopefully hopping on right now to join us because my kids, um, they go to Catholic school, and they had mass yesterday, and one of our girls was reading in church, and one of the girls was singing, and so Doug and I really wanted to be able to be there, and to participate in mass yesterday, so thank you. Thank
Nice.
you for
Was
showing
yesterday a
grace.
special day of some kind, or is that just like regular
No.
weekly mass?
No, the kids participate in mass on a pretty regular like they have different grades and different kids doing all different things always. But it just kind of lined up this week that Nora was reading and Josie was singing. And usually I don't go to mass, obviously, because I get to come and hang out with you on Tuesday mornings. But yesterday, Doug kind of last minute was able to make arrangements to be there. And I thought, you know what, this is kind of important. The school year's wrapping up. We're not going to have an opportunity to do this. So we're going to go do it. So
Right.
family first
It's
yesterday. Thank you.
seeing your kids is so special, and supporting them when they're doing something special helps them feel good about it too. So I totally
Right.
think that's important.
Yeah. And, I feel like we can all remember this perspective of like participating in a sport or a show or a concert and like seeing, your mom and dad or grandpa and grandma in the crowd. Like there's something really special about that. So it was nice to be there yesterday. So thank
That's
you.
awesome. Yeah, and you know what? I just realized we didn't even tell anybody who we are or what we're doing. So let's say good morning. You're watching Coffee with Kristin and Tina. This is Kristin Odell of KLO LLC, and I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio. So thank you so much for joining us. Kristin, lots of cool things happening. You mentioned a show. Let's talk about The Lion King. Now, I know we've told our viewers about The Lion King up until this point, but it opens this week. And Jason and I got to go to their dress rehearsal last night. You guys, this show looks out of this world. So not only are the costumes amazing, I was so impressed with what I saw on stage, with the set, and these are kids. I was blown away.
Yeah. This is Rafiki. And I love like the brilliance of her makeup, like seeing this on stage and hearing like this woman, this young lady, she's a young lady. She's not a woman yet, I guess, because she's not technically, I don't know. I don't even know if she's 18. But anyway, these are all students and they are incredible. And her voice is going to blow your mind.
So this is Rafiki. I did talk to her for a minute last night. I said, "Okay, Rafiki, what do you want viewers to know about the show? Like, what's your message?" She said, "Don't be a monkey's uncle. Come and see the show."
Did she really say that?
She really did. Yeah, and it took a while. She even checked with her mom. They're like, "What should I say?"
Yeah, I love that. That's so funny. I just, this show is going to be epic. Every time I get a little snippet or I see another costume or like on Sunday, Doug and I went and we helped move the set from Treehouse to the Capitol and we got to like be behind the scenes at the Capitol, which is really a cool experience just all by itself. We carried the costumes in my car and I got to like see all of them and I'm like, I have chills just thinking about it. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, even so, watching the dress rehearsal last night, anyone that's familiar with The Lion King, I don't think this is a spoiler, but Mufasa dies, and then there's this scene where all of the lionesses come on, and they're like weeping, and the way it was done, I had chills, I had goosebumps. I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah. There's so much young talent in our community. I think really like people are going to go to this show and they're going to be like, wait, these are kids. First of all, these are kids. And then second of all, these are kids from Manitowoc County. Um, it's going to be really good.
I totally agree. Here's a quick little shot of that's Pumbaa, Timon, and Simba. These kids, like, they know what they're doing. They've got some stage chutzpah.
Yeah, it is so good. And all of these characters are amazing and unique in their own right. Like, obviously Pumbaa and Timon are always funny and these two young ladies playing these roles like bring it absolutely out, and just I have nothing but good and exciting things to say. There are tickets available yet. I know some shows are not there's not a lot still available, but there is tickets still available. You can buy them on the Capitol website or at the box office. But it opens tomorrow night.
Oh, it opens tomorrow already. Oh my gosh. Okay, break a leg, kids, because that's going to be an awesome show.
Yes, Thursday and Friday at 7, Saturday and Sunday at 2.
Nice. Nice. So
Oh,
this is not a costume, but you were telling me that this is from the library. Tell me more about this adorable thing.
yeah, so on Sunday we had some extra time. We were downtown, and I said to Doug, like, why don't we go for walks? We walked down kind of along the river, and then Josie or Grace and uh, Nora wanted to go to the library. So I'm like, fine, we've got time. Let's run to the library quick. And they had these cute little, it's like on a pole in the youth center, all these little cute backpacks you can check out to have to be your book bag. So they're hanging on a pole. There's all different types, and you check them out. You just put them under the scanning thing, just like a book, and you get to keep them for, I think it said 3 weeks. But it's to keep your library books in. Isn't that so cute?
You know what? I love it. That is a great idea because it keeps them segregated. It keeps them in like a very easily identifiable central spot. It
Hmm.
gives you like a different sort of respect for them almost, you know, that the library books belong together. It's like this little family in this bag. So
Right.
smart.
Yeah, it's so cute. And Nora was very excited to carry hers home, and Josie wasn't with us, so I sent Doug a note and said, "Hey, we got Josie some library books." And when Josie saw it, she was so excited. She's like, "This is so cute!" And it has pockets and the whole deal on it. It's just really adorable.
Yeah, I think that they should have these for adult library books too.
Hey, that's a great tip. Like, I like at our house, we're very fortunate to have a lot of books. And so like I always fear library books are gonna get mixed in with our books from home, and then we're not gonna be able to find one. And I think just like the idea of like, yeah, we're gonna protect them, and the library books stay in the library bag, and it's a really fun idea, and like they were excited about it, and I want them excited about the library. So
Yeah. You know,
is
speaking
it
of
your
books,
dad's birthday?
oh, yeah. So Jason wishes my dad happy birthday, John Salzman. Today is my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad.
Oh, how old is your dad today?
78.
Oh, happy birthday, John. What are you guys going to do to celebrate?
We are gonna take him out for dinner at the Waterfront Wine Bar.
Ooh, awesome. What a
I
good deal.
know. Hopefully we'll
I'm
find some cake somewhere. This is an example of a cake I did make for Easter. Actually, we had to celebrate Orthodox Easter because we were sick on the actual Easter, but we made the
Nice.
most of it, and this turned out so cute.
It is very good. Okay, so this is obviously coconut on the top. What kind of cake was in the middle?
It's a yellow cake with vanilla frosting and then the coconut on the top.
That sounds
And
good.
it's supposed to have all this shoelace licorice for like the whiskers and to make a mouth. I could not find shoelace licorice anywhere. I don't know if that's still a thing. So this is a pretty old cake
I
recipe.
thought it was, but who knows? Maybe it's like a supply chain restraint right now or something. But
Maybe.
I think
But so
this
this
turned
was
out
fun.
adorable. Did you guys have a nice Easter celebration?
We did. It was lovely. And it was funny when I brought out the cake, Teek said, okay, I'll just have the ear. I'm like, the whole ear? That's like a quarter of a cake.
That's like a total kid thing to say, isn't it? Like, I want an eye. I want a whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. So true. I think it's
Um,
calculating like, okay, there's candy on this piece plus, you know.
is this a cake pan form, or did you cut cake out to make this?
Ah, yeah, it's two round cakes. And
Okay.
then this one of the round cakes, you have to like cut a quarter this way and cut a quarter that way. And that's what makes the ear shapes. And
Yep.
then what you're left with is the bow tie.
Nice. Look at how
Yeah.
creative you are.
Yeah, little tip. I was a little nervous about cutting it. I'm like, oh no, am I going to get this right? And so my husband, who's so smart, took a round cover from like a saucepan or whatever and set it down and then used that to get the perfect arc shape. So
Sure.
that's why it turned out so nice.
Nice. You guys are a good team.
God, thanks. Thanks. He's got a lot of good ideas.
That's
So
fun.
Kristin, we were talking about the book backpack, and I just have to tell viewers, and it's so adorable, you guys. So today's Wednesday, and usually on Wednesday afternoons, I do a little live stream with the Manitowoc Public Library. And so this afternoon, once a month, we have book banter, where Therese Horstgetter comes on and we talk about some different book recommendations. Well, anyway, the thumbnails when these live streams are posted between the Coffee with Kristin and Tina and the Coffee on the Coast, they look very similar. So Kristin saw that one and she thought, oh my God, today we're talking about books, which I love. So she didn't think twice. She didn't question about it. She prepared some books to talk about. So tell us what you're reading, Kristin.
You guys, this is like,
I love this.
I mean, this just goes to show you, like, you know, Tina and I are typically texting the night before a show. It's not that we don't prepare, but we want this to be like an organic conversation. And this is so hysterical that this is how things went today. But anyway, so yes, so I have my Kindle with me, and I'm currently reading a book called, I have to just say this out loud so I get it right, Salt, Sugar, Fat. And the subtitle is How the Food Giants Hooked Us. So I've been reading this. It came out in 2013, but it hits very home to me right now, even though the research is like 10 years old. And it just literally talks about like the transformation from eating 3 meals a day with family centered around a table to like we're eating all day long and food is acceptable in every place that we go, and how we've been transforming into like these on the go, quick to grab things, but just how much sugar, fat, and salt is packed into the things that are processed rather than eating home cooked whole foods at home. It will blow your mind. I have made changes in my home based on some of the things I've read in this. So
I have to ask you, so that's on a Kindle. I've never read a book before on a Kindle. So aesthetically, is it quite a different experience for you, or is it literally just the same? Like a book is a book on a Kindle versus...
I was hesitant when I got this because I do enjoy holding a book. But I mean, it really is like the same.
Wow.
I mean, it's just like looking at it, you just tap the screen to turn the pages. One of the things that I like is that, you know, I can still like prop it up and hold it in bed. So, I don't know. I've had this is old. I've had it a long time, but I think you put me onto the app Libby.
Yes.
And so I use my regular library card from the Manitowoc Public Library, and I can download books to this using that, and it's free. It's just really awesome. The other thing I really love about this is Doug goes to bed early, and I typically take this on vacation when we visit his family in Ohio, in the camper, all these places, and it is backlit. So if Doug is sleeping, I can lay in bed with this backlit and it doesn't bother him, but I don't have to have a light on.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for that introduction to that.
I feel this is kind of like old technology because a lot of people read on their phones, but and it's not like the blue light your phone puts off either. It's more of a white light. So anyway.
Right. Like the Kindle screen actually has kind of an appearance of paper, right? It's not bright like a phone screen.
Correct. And also like you can adjust it. So if I'm reading with a light on or, you know, whatever, like you can, let's see, again, I have an older Kindle, but like I can turn, I don't know can you see the difference between, I can turn this up and down. So if I'm reading in the dark, you know, I can turn it down so that it's not really showing that now because it's nice and bright here today. But anyway, you get the idea.
But better for your eyes too, not to have that brightness.
Right. So, good morning,
Stephen. Nice to see you on a Wednesday as well. Thanks for tuning in.
So,
okay, Kristin. So then you've got some other books.
Yeah. So I have also been reading a series. I'm reading this with Grace. So Grace is 12. Her reading level is a little bit higher than that. So we've been navigating this books that challenge her reading level, but are still appropriate content for a 12-year-old. Which I think other parents understand this. So the librarians at Manitowoc Public Library, we're really pitching the Manitowoc Public Library Day. They put me onto this series by Marissa Meyer, and it's essentially like Disney princess meets like part robot humans, cyborgs, meets Plague. And then
Oh,
there's all
wow.
these other like things and stories intertwined. So the first one's called Cinder. It's kind of loosely based around Cinderella and the prince. And then I read Scarlet just maybe last month, and that one um, is more like I guess it would be like Sleeping Beauty kind of. Um, oh, actually, that one was like the Big Bad Wolf. Sorry, this was about wolves. So I'm kind of reading this in parallel with Grace, which is really fun because we get to like have conversations or talk about it. And there's a bunch of books in that series. So um,
That
I
is awesome.
pre-read, yeah, I pre-read Cinder just to make sure that I felt like the content was okay for her and it was good. So now we've been kind of reading it together. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome. So you were talking about like her reading level. I remember when Teak was young, there was a scale, and depending on where you were on the scale, it helped you choose your books based on some number. I'm sorry, I
yes,
can't remember exactly what it was. But I remember that Harry Potter on that scale was like a 700 or something. And
yes.
for his reading level at the time, that was great. And we were really excited that he had reached that level. So I was telling my mom, I'm like, yeah, guess what? Harry Potter is like a 700 on this scale. She's like, he's not real, Tina. I'm like, no, the book is.
Oh, that is funny. I don't know if all schools use this, but we use the Lexile range. Does that sound familiar to you? The Lexile
That's what it
range.
was. Yes.
Um, and another fun fact, you can actually take your kids' Lexile range to the library and they will give you like it's posted in the kids section upstairs what grades and kind of what Lexile range these books are. And the librarians will help you find books. So another
Yeah.
just fun fact. And then
Super
I have
helpful.
two
So many
other
good tips about
really
library.
I have two other books that are real books. This one, Case for Christ, has just been this is like a science-based book about the existence of Jesus Christ. And I needed this for my own faith journey. It is so research heavy that I had a really hard time reading it. I actually started it many years ago and put it away because I mentally can't handle reading the science at night before bed. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Like
yes.
it's very college professor research and I'm like my brain just can't handle it. So I've made a commitment in 2022 that I'm determined that I'm going to finish this book, and as you can see I'm very close to the end. So really good stuff. And then this one Doug has queued up for me. Doug read this in like not very much. Doug doesn't read books fast, by the way. He just doesn't. It's not his thing. But he cruised through this. So this is called Green Lines by Matthew McConaughey, and it's like all of his diaries for the first however many years of his life that he's pulled in. And Doug said it was really good. So this is the next one.
Interesting. So that's nonfiction based on his life too?
Yeah, nonfiction. He said there are some like names that have been changed to like protect people's identity, but yeah,
To protect the innocent.
this is the real deal. So I don't maybe do other people have 4 books or 3 books going on at a time? Like am
You know,
I
I used to not. I used to have, be somebody that started one book, and if I started it, I had to finish it. And now I've changed my whole MO. If I start a book and if I'm just not into it, if by chapter 3 I could like care less, I will now put it down and like never revisit it. And I definitely have multiple books going.
yes. Yeah, so I'm seeing Jason says he listens to books. My cousin Nicole's on. Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, Risa, she listens to books in the car. Um, yeah, a lot of people do this. I don't, maybe because I don't drive enough. Like, I don't listen to books in the car. I feel like I would
Mm.
like need time to get it started. I don't know. That's a stupid excuse, but
Well, sometimes if you're listening to books in the car, I end up driving someplace I didn't intend to go. Like I sort of just keep going, like
or I
because the
feel
book
like
is
I
so
would
good.
like, you know how you like listen to the radio? I feel like I'm thinking about things and listening at the same time. And I feel like I wouldn't actually take in what I'm reading. I don't know.
Mm. I am a big fan though of Audible and of that Libby app that we were talking about,
Yep.
that Kristen was talking about for Kindle, because you can also download audiobooks. And so when I'm going for a walk, I'll be listening to one, or like if I'm doing the dishes or laundry or something, it's great to kind of have that story, because then it
Mhm.
also makes the chore feel not so chorish.
Right.
Is that a word?
Chorish.
Chorish.
Yeah. I also think if
Hey, nice.
you have Amazon Prime, you can read on your phone or a smart device or Kindle and do audio books for free through Prime Reading as well.
Oh,
So, yeah.
that's smart. I haven't tried that.
Okay, so for all of you commenting about your books, I love this. What books are you reading? Good morning, Pat. Pat's my neighbor. Good morning, Pat.
Well,
What are you doing online?
hello,
Yeah,
Kristen's neighbor.
give us your titles. Tell us what you're reading, because maybe this will inspire the next 4 books I have going on at the same time.
Yeah, I just finished listening to a book called The Last Chance Library, which I enjoyed. And then I just listened to another one that was great. And the title was like it was great. And it was an audiobook, so it was really well performed. I'm just looking to see what it was called. Sankofa. Sankofa by Chibundu Onuzo. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was a really good book.
What was your book about?
So hold on a second. What does she say? Reading Victoria, a Life. Oh, about Queen Victoria. Interesting. The Sankofa one is a woman who grew up in London. Her mother was Welsh and her father was from a small African country called Bamana. And it's fiction, but it was kind of about like her challenges of being mixed growing up in London, and how she didn't actually know her father. And when she was an adult, she decided to search him out, found a diary, figured out he actually had become the prime minister slash quasi dictator of this small African nation. And so then it was about her journey to go and like find him and like find out about her extended family. And it was interesting.
Oh, how did you find that title?
Just Libby. I was,
Yeah.
ready for another book and scrolling through, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. On Libby, do you ever go in there and you're looking for like available now? Like sometimes I get titles from people and then they're never available and I'm like, just give me what I can get right now.
It's true, but what I love about Libby is you can make a hold. So my holds list is always full. But then
Yes.
it's like this little manna from heaven, right? You'll be doing something and get this notice, oh, your book is now ready. So
Right. Yeah. Nothing brings me greater joy than to get an email from Libby that says, hey, your hold is in.
yeah,
The
that's
obstacle is the
awesome.
way. I think I have that here. That's a good one, Jason. Or Doug has it, maybe. That's familiar. Ooh,
Oh, I'm not
Braving.
familiar with this book.
Yeah. Very cool. See, look at all these fun.
Ooh, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. True story of a lady who died in the 50s, but her cells have lived on and been used in multitudes of medical research, etc. Goes into her life, kids' lives, issues surrounding informed consent, etc. Very interesting.
Whoa. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I've never heard of that book, Risa. Thanks for telling us about that.
Yes. Again, Marisa, how did you find this book? Did you just pick it? Did somebody give you the title? The Alchemist is a must read.
Oh, Stephen, 100% agree. The Alchemist, everybody should read that in their lives. That was a beautiful, beautiful book.
Nice. This is so
Very
fun.
nice.
Okay, you guys,
Yeah.
just keep commenting. Throw your titles out there because people are going to go on later and they're going to see all your comments and they're going to be stealing your book titles. The infamous The Office Ladies podcast.
Nice.
That is like a really bizarre topic to come up on the Office Ladies podcast.
Yeah, I was just rereading like the nugget about the book. I mean, it's so interesting. That's so interesting.
Tina, would you ever consider donating your body for science?
Not while I'm using it.
I mean, ideally, I would hope that you would wait until So you're not interested in participating in like
Dude,
research,
what
medical
once
trials?
I shuffle off this mortal coil, I really couldn't care less what happens. Once I no longer have any attachment to this like bag of flesh, whatever.
So
I'm not
you
particular about that.
would donate your body to science after, but you don't care to participate in anything research related now. Am I understanding correctly?
That's right. That's right. What about you?
I mean,
For all the Monty
Jason,
Python fans out there.
yeah, Jason, I feel like you and every other Wisconsinite is looking for her liver. Uh, I do have the donor thing filled out on my driver's license. Like I would, for people who are, have organs that don't work, I would love to be able to give life to somebody else. So I think that is cool. I don't know like how I feel about somebody, even though I'm done with, in theory, done with the cell, done with the bag. I don't know how I feel about somebody like ripping and cutting me apart.
I just can't think about it. But that's why. Kelly Kate Knowles says she's reading The Storyteller by Dave Grohl on audio, Find Your First by Linwood Barkay, fiction, thriller, and Best State Ever by Dave Barry. Oh, that was a recommendation last month when I talked to Therese from the library on our book banter. She recommended Best State Ever by Dave Barry. So Kelly, is it good? Was it a good recommendation by Therese? We need to know. And then she's also reading Wahala by Nikki May, kind of a modern Sex in the City.
Fun.
Actually, great.
Kelly, once again, thank you for making me feel completely normal to have multiple books in the works.
Yeah. It's awesome. When you've got multiple books in the works, how do you decide which one to read or listen to?
Well, the achiever in me really wants to finish the Salt, Sugar, Fat book because it's also sciency and like I really want all the information in it. Like I feel like my ongoing quest to be healthy and live a long, exciting life. I want to finish it, but it's another one. Like sometimes I will be reading 2 pages and I'm like, so
So what you're saying is you want to make sure that your body's in perfect form when you donate it?
perfect. I would use the word perfect extremely loosely.
So Kelly said yes, she's reading that book due to Teresa's recommendation. She said, very funny. I've read him before. Big Trouble, a fictional book by him, is also hilarious. Cool.
Nice.
Thanks, Kelly.
So yeah, so right now, like that's on the top of my list because I just really want to finish it and I want to kind of get it done. And I also think like going into summer, I kind of don't want to be reading science. I know that's weird, but like I'd rather read something that is, like to me, this Matthew McConaughey book is just going to be more of a light read or something that I can just kind of escape in for the summer. I don't know. I guess maybe the winter I'm more informational, where the summer I'm more.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yeah, I get that. A little bit of candy. Books like that are kind of like that for me, right? Like it's an opportunity to just have an adventure or something. So a lot of them are lighter or fiction. I love historical fiction. I love learning about a period in time or some sort of situations, even if it's not historical or
Right.
factual, if it's not a nonfiction book. I love
Right.
historical nonfiction, I guess is the category. No, historical fiction.
Yeah, historical fiction. I totally get it. There's a lot of really good like World War II historically based fiction books out there that are so good.
I just read a book called, and I'm going to get this wrong, The Ocean Between the Lights or The Light Between the Ocean, something like that. And it was really good. It was about this lighthouse keeper who lives on this tiny island in Australia. And then he ends up having a wife. And so literally it's like the two of them living in this lighthouse on this island. And they haven't been able to have any of their own children. And then one day this like boat washes up on shore and there's a man and he's dead, and there's a baby in the boat with him. And so now it's this conundrum, like they're out miles from nowhere. Nobody knows about this boat. There's this baby. They have to like take care of it.
Yeah.
But then the question is, do we report it or do we just raise it as our own? And this whole story unfolds, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Has anybody read that?
No, but now I'm going to put it on my list. There's like a Disney movie that's similar. I think it's called The Odd Life of Timothy Greene. It's a movie, and it's very similar to like in concept, but this couple like puts all their wishes for a child in a box and they plant it, and then in the morning he's there, and they have to like explain where he came from, but they recognize in the attributes of what they thought their children would be like, they recognize in him that he has come with these things, and like all the things they wrote kind of come true. I just watched it with the kids like in the last month.
Interesting.
I know. It's cute.
Nice.
Nice.
So we've been talking about books, and this has been an awesome conversation. But before we go, I just have to bring up this meme that you shared, Kristin, because it's so cute. So when you Google the lyrics of a song and realize you've been singing nonsense for 6 months, this happens to me all the time.
Does it?
There's actually a word for that.
What is it?
It's called a mondegreen. When you think the lyrics are something, but they're really different. It's called a mondegreen because there was this poem once upon a time about like a warrior that died. His name was like Sir Mondegreen. No, Sir, I don't know. Okay, anyway, I'm messing up the story. Anyway, his wife.
Spell mondegreen?
It's mondegreen because in the poem they say they laid him on the green, but people heard it and they think that they're saying Lady Mondegreen, like as if his name was Sir Mondegreen, right? But it was like Sir David or something, right? So Sir David dies, they lay him on the green, but people like over time have heard Lady Mondegreen. So there's been all these like literature questions about who's Lady Mondegreen. There is no Lady Mondegreen because it's laid him on the green. So now when you mishear lyrics, it's literally called a mondegreen because you think you're hearing something.
So like MONDA green?
MONDE. Wait.
Probably DE.
MONDEREEN. Yeah. Mondegreen.
Da is like Uper talk.
Mondegreen. Yeah. I totally did not get that right.
Oh, Tina's in her Eastern European accent again. Or whatever.
So, do you have an example of lyrics that you've misheard?
I do. I texted this to you. This is not my particular one, but my girls. There is a song by Randy Houser. Nicole, I know you know what I'm talking about. The song is called Boots On, like cowboy boots. And the chorus is, I'm going out with my boots on. And this song came out probably 5 years ago. So the girls are like 4 and 5. And they would sing, I'm going out with my boobs on. And I'm like, not the right words. I mean, maybe you're going out with them on, but this is not the right words to this song. It's boots with a T. Boots, not boots.
Well, I grew up when that song was popular. Pour some sugar on me in the name of love. Like, I don't know if anybody recognizes that song, but my younger brother, always thought it was awesome. Shoot me in the knee. So he'd go around, awesome, shoot me in the knee. So for the longest time, I didn't know what they were saying.
Nicole, I feel like that's fit for you. You just sing it out loud, girl. Sing it in the car. So does anybody else have this? Like, there's another one. There is some like political correctness around this song. So let me just say that first. But the song Rock the Casbah, I used to think it said, again, I'm from Wisconsin, rock the cash bar.
Isn't it? What's a Casbah? Because, man, here in Wisconsin, we can totally rock the cash bar.
Right. And If you
Oh, John. So this is John. This is awesome. Shoot me in the knee.
Oh, John, it makes me want to message you the real lyrics.
You're precious,
Yeah.
John. Thank you.
I mean, if you go read the lyrics for Casbah, it's clearly not Cash Bar. It could not be anything farther than Cash Bar.
Is it something in like Morocco, sort of set in that part of the world, a Casbah?
Yeah, and it's like it's like playing music in the temple and somebody doesn't like it, and there's all kinds of things. Like I read this morning because I was kind of researching like what does this really say, and it was like a song that was banned during 9/11 because of some of the undertones to the song, which I didn't know about that. So interesting. But again, all Wisconsin girl here, we are going to rock the Cash Bar.
That's awesome. Actually, I'm embarrassed. I love singing out to songs, but I am mortified to do it in front of other people because I almost always go the Green way. I always like have this different interpretation. So my husband gets a really good laugh over it.
Yeah. So if you guys have another example of this, I feel like kids maybe do this more often than adult. Like, I feel like at some point in time, there was a transition from like singing along and not singing the words to like hearing lyrics. Like there's a difference. And so at some point, maybe I just got more mature, but I actually like listen to the words. But I want to hear what you sing that is not right, because I know you're doing it. We want to know.
Right. And or prepare and tell us for next time. Because Kristin, it's like way past 9:00 already. How did this happen?
Ooh. Because we're awesome. Because this was a good conversation.
Yeah, you guys are fun to have a conversation with. I love talking about books and music and all these higher ideals.
It was fun. My coffee's almost gone. I need a refill.
All right, time to get coffee refills. Time to say thank you to all of you for participating, joining us in the chat. Kristin, is always lovely to talk to you. We'll look forward to next week. And Kristin, we should talk about if a Wednesday morning is better for you. Maybe we should switch permanently.
Ooh, you guys tell us. Does Wednesdays work better than Tuesdays? Does it matter? I mean,
yeah,
we'll figure it out. Tell us.
Yeah.
Should we change it up?
Tell us. Tell us. Right there, right in the chat. Or right in the chat. Or is it, I don't know which way. This way. Oh, no.
I mean, for me on the screen. For me on the screen, the chat is right here.
Okay.
Where is
that
it
you could be right there. It is just past you that way.
Okay. So like Kelly, in my screen, I'm pointing at your comments right now. These are Kelly's comments.
That's awesome.
Hey guys.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. You've been watching Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.